Hello, good evening and good afternoon to those there in South Africa. Good evening to those in Cambodia. It's Pepper's Echo. My name's Andre. Welcome to the show. And yeah, it's the show from the ordinary man in the street from the outside looking in. I don't always do, excuse me, political stuff. I'm usually doing politics in South Africa, but for the last 2 or 3 times now, I have been chatting about Cambodia, and probably today we'll carry on with a little bit of Cambodia and that as well. Although the day has been pretty long as well, the week has been pretty long. I've been pretty tired this week and that, so excuse me if I sound a little, but yes, it has taken its toll, stresses and strains. But first of all, please like and subscribe. There we go. Like and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Please share it amongst your friends. It's the only way that I do get it out there. I would really, really love to get a few more subscribers than that. If you have any interesting things to talk about, if you just have a topic which I'd like to cover, if you just maybe like to send me a video or a clip or something to talk about, if you would like to come on the show or anything like that, please drop me either a message down here or else write to us at peppersecho@gmail.com, peppersecho@gmail.com. That is corrected. There is no second P, no second E. It is specifically spelled like that as such. Of course, you're watching the live echo with Pepper's Echo. So please, if you have any topics or anything like that, I would love to hear from you. It doesn't have to be political. It doesn't have to be South African. It doesn't have to be Cambodian. It can be anything of interest, anything that just tickles your fancy, etc., etc. As such, as I said, the big guns with the news and very, very interesting chats and shows. Usually a Ronaldo host, Roman Kabanak from Morning Shot, Chris Wyatt, yes. And Chris, don't know if you listen ever, but I was on your show the other day and I did drop you a message. You gave me an email address. I'm going to be asking you to pop onto Pepper's Echo pretty soon as well after a really successful show with Ronaldo. Absolutely super chat. And I was actually watching in awe the other day as Chris was going through all his commendations and that, not because he wanted to splash out, but it's been about a year since everybody has been asking him, please, Chris, will you tell us about it? Can you show us? I must say, if you haven't, go and catch that show. It was most impressive. And as I said, again, the most impressive thing about it was that Chris White seems to be such a humble man compared to somebody with all these certificates and diplomas, or commendations is the word that I'm looking for. So yes, fantastic. That's the next chap. And Joe, you're not too important either. I will be hot on your trail then. Maybe one day Roman will think I'm not too small to be able to drift in this general direction. Germ warfare, yeah. If you feel that you can stoop a little bit lower, you can come down to Pepper's Echo and join us as well. It'll be fantastic. And then again, there's the guys and the girls out there that are always watching, always around, always giving me some comments. Sean Waddle, good friend of mine from school days. Haven't seen him in years, but has some really, really good comments on there. Some things that make you think as well. Also, a fantastically interesting life, and I think you have 1,050,000 absolutely wonderful stories to tell. I would like you on some time when you can actually find the time. Rhodesians Never Die, Lynn. Yeah, why don't you come and tell us about you and Rhodesians Never Die? That'll be fantastic as well. And to hear about where you come from, what your show's all about, what do you do and why did you bring it up, and how do you have this heart for Rhodesia? Where do you live at the moment? You're in South Africa. How long have you been here? My parents actually come from Zambia. I was born in South Africa, but my dad worked on the copper belt in Mufalera. So yeah, excuse me. Also out from that area, but yeah, no, I am homegrown in South Africa. exported to Cambodia now. So, yeah, I just got to get used to the rice and things as we go by. But otherwise, getting back to last week, I had my very special little guest, and I'd like to bring her on again. So hello, everybody. Hello, Jessie. Yeah, this is little Jessie. Let me get it in front of the camera there. This is Jessie, and I think she's grown a bit. She did go to the vet this Saturday, and she did get her deworming tab this Saturday, and she has got her vitamin. Oh, yes. And one day she is aspiring to sing the Locky Down song like Carter does. But right now, she just moans a bit. But I have a little bit of a story behind Jess. Hello, look there. Up here. There we go. Yeah, very good security guard. She can see behind her and in front of her at the same time. Yeah. Love her to bits. Yes, she's my little child. Okay, we get Jessie. Thank you. If you remember, I showed you Jessie last week, and I said we'd been looking around for a long time, and we eventually got hold. We found that the one pet shop had 3 miniature chihuahuas, and because we're in a single apartment, it is probably the most conducive dog to have in an apartment, because you take a look at that size, to her the apartment is the whole world. Fortunately, I've had a friend of ours, Elandi, who has been coming through this whole week every day to work at our place so that she could look after babysit. But I would like to show you, when we got to the pet shop on Saturday, the one little chihuahua had already been sold. And so there was a white one and then a brown one. And we had to make a decision. The little guy was white and the little girl was brown. So we decided to take Jessie, which was the brown one, and she's a girl. But my heart nearly went into pieces. When we took Jessie out, we bought her all her little goodies and things, because it's like a kid. We've got a playpen, we've got a fluffy bed, there's toys, there's blankets, there's you name it, all over the place. Not that you need blankets in this place, but anyway. But we bought Jessie all her toys and things, and had little nails clipped, and we were going out, and this little white one set up, because they're all just in cages, these cages, and I'll show you a video clip now. They were all just in these cages that were on sort of like on top of each other, and the bottom right hand side is this little pink cage with the one little white Chihuahua dog left. And he stood up and he sat on his back legs, and he pushed his little legs up front, and he gave this ooh, oh, this heart-breaking little howl as his sister left the store. Well, that was really hectic. Now, what happens is you find that the pet stop often puts on videos and that, and so we were watching the videos, and I actually thought I'd show you this one screen. I can put it on sound as well. Let's take the sound off. Let me put it in there. And I can show you in the bottom right-hand side, that cage. Now, let me move it back again. Can you? Yeah, my mouse can be seen there. So I'm going to take me out of the picture, and I'm going to show you in this bottom cage. Let me move it back again. This is where we bought her. And you'll see there are all cages on top of each other with all puppies and dogs. And in this bottom, here's the counter over here. And in this bottom right-hand side here is where Jessie was with her brother. And there's this little, okay, the video is not great quality, but as you can see, by himself, the little chappie is curled up. And these cages are not really great. I must be honest, if you take a look, these cages have got spacings, and their little legs are so small that they actually slip through these cages. He's got a pea mat there, and there he is, all by himself. And this was Tuesday morning's video. I was looking at it. There he is, all by himself. There, they pushed his food. They're busy calling him in his little cage. And they pushed his food towards him there. I took a look and I said, you know, I'm sure he's going to get sold soon. He'll be okay. There's this little guy. Okay, and then they go off into the, if you wanted to see it again, without my comment. There he is in his little cage that you can actually fall through in these little steps. If he doesn't step on the mat or on the wire, his little cage falls through. Oh, this was like Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, this was Tuesday. About 3 days after we bought Jessie. And I kept on saying to my wife, I said, you know what, I'm sure he'll get sold, he'll get bought. And there we saw, no, he's still there. So, guess what? There's Jessie still over here. But on Tuesday morning, our hearts could not take it. And Jessie got a brother. I had to go and fetch him too. So, guys, meet Jessie and her brother, Aussie. Jessie and Aussie. I couldn't leave him in that cage. Not a minute longer could I leave him in that cage. It just didn't seem right. And that little heartfelt yelp when we took Jessie on Saturday just didn't cut it for us. And we spent many nights, or not many, only 3 nights, going, wonder what's going to happen to him. Will he find a home? And guess what? I'm going to show you some photos still. But yes, there's Jessie and Aussie. And they are both, yeah, it cost us a bank loan and goodness knows what else and double things, but there our kids are now. And right now I've got 2 very hungry kids as well. They're not amused with me at all because it's time for their supper as well. But yes, so that little video was the last thing I needed to see on a Tuesday morning. And I wasn't feeling the best of the best. And so Tuesday we went off to fetch Aussie. So I'm going to give them to my wife here so that she can feed these 2 little ones, because they get fed about 3 times a day, because otherwise they overeat those little stomachs over there. Yeah. And she is petrified of walking on the tiles. And he, of course, is master of exploration. There is no place that he can't or won't or doesn't go. So, of course, yes, where we ended up having this big decision of maybe we should have 1 dog. We ended up with 1. And then the Tuesday, we went to fetch the other one. We couldn't leave him in that cage. Thanks for my intro. So now we have 2 little miscreants with us over there. Yes, Divan, I saved the prisoner. Because none of you would go and save him. That's why I had to save him, Divan. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the rescue story of Jessie and Aussie. But I just want to bring them in there. And there you can see, this is the little playpen that they have in their carpet and their toys. That is actually a pea tray. That is a pea tray that they get on. But there they are. They get along quite well. They enjoy sleeping together. That's in their little bed. As they are babies, they seem to eat and sleep and poop only. Jekyll and Hyde. There's another one, two little squeaks with their teddy. First experience of grass. A little bit of a roll in the grass. We got, yeah, tired of playing now. And there's another grass experience. This was just before we took them on Saturday to get their deworming and some vitamin gel that we got to give them before they can go on getting their first vaccinations. It's about 2 weeks, and then they can get their vaccinations. They're about 2 months and a week old now. And Jessie gets put into Dad's pocket when he gets home from work, and then she gets to go to the balcony and have a cup of coffee with Dad. They are still very fond of each other, so luckily they are brother and sister, and I think they're very happy that they are together. Yes, they do still do a good amount of playing. They don't have a voice yet. The best thing was when we took them to the, I don't know, is this a play video? Yeah. Yeah, Aussie's sleeping. He's actually the busy one. Jessie's usually the lazy one. But he actually sleeps like I do, you know. Nothing bothers you. Nothing bothers you, especially when your sister's going to pull at you. But and I need to show you how we transport them. Yes. When they go places with us, there's their little suitcase. There's my wife. We have a little backpack, and they have a little see-through thing. It's got air holes and vents on the side, and it's holes on the side here and holes on the side there. The 3 vents, and they sit in the back of the backpack, and they are able to transport along with us. And that's how they went off for their vaccinations, or their deworming and vaccination appointment. So Divan sent me something as well, because I was worried that I would have weak dogs. There's another little picture of them in their transport situation. I thought I might have weak dogs, and I really am one. But I think after this picture that Divan sent me, I feel I have a pretty sturdy bunch of watchdogs. So there's no bad dogs at all. Dogs are nice, and then you look at the Chihuahua, I'll cut you, man. So far, they need to just get a voice. Best part is we go to the vet, and of course they need to have the temperatures taken. Now you know the dog doesn't have his temperature taken under the arm or under the tongue at all. Vet's still very nice. Puts a little sort of rubber thing over the thermometer and Vaseline and everything on. Jessie, no problem. But wow, when we went to take Aussie's temperature, he suddenly drew a voice from above. We thought the end of the world had come and the doc had hit his kidney or something with the temperature gauge, because that man was not happy at all. But yeah, so I have 2 children, hence the reason I am tired, because 2 children keep you awake. And there is absolutely no ways that you sleep past 5:30 in the morning either, because then it is feeding time as such. So boo-hoo, whatever, who cares? You will wake up for me. Right, so what's happening? We took a look. There's a lovely newspaper that I actually read every day. So I thought I'd take a look at a little bit of what's happening in the papers over here, and it's called Khmer Times. Let me show you what it looks like. And it is English as well. Bring it in. There we go. It's called the Khmer Times, and it's in English for a change. And the nice thing is it gives you the up-to-date COVID status over here. And our status is going down because our active cases were at 7,300. And if you take a look like right now, They're at 7,000. So we've definitely gone down. Deaths are up by 7 at 209. But my biggest worry in Cambodia is that they are not violation. Yeah, he felt terribly violated. My biggest worry in Cambodia at the moment is we had a sudden scare and a shot up of COVID. I mean, so much so that there was a lockdown and we could only work from home and for 3 weeks, etc., etc. And there were red zones all over the place and everything was locked down, the whole toots, and no. And all of a sudden, okay, now lockdown ends. This was like last week on Saturday. Lockdowns ended, curfews finished. You can buy and sell alcohol. Restaurants are open. Everything, go ahead, have fun. And during the week it was like, oh, the red zones are dissolving. And my biggest worry is that the country has become complacent, because when we weren't testing properly or enough, there was nothing. When there was an incident on February the 20th, we suddenly had to start testing. And then all of a sudden we found all these problems in Cambodia, and it was an absolute, I don't want to say shit show, but it was an outbreak of note. And we went into curfews and lockdowns and alcohol bans and business closed and everything to that effect. And now all of a sudden it's like, everything's lifted again and it's all looking good. And the people are reviving themselves far faster than what is even cases being picked up. And my biggest concern is that we've become complacent and we're not testing anymore as properly as what we should be. Because while there were red zones, we were testing. Now there's like maybe a red dot here or there or whatever, a small red zone we'll test over there. But we are not testing the city like we did test when there seemed to be a problem. And if you take a look at what happened in India, the same thing. India thought, wow, we've got over it. Everything's cool. Surf the waves, chuck in the weddings, throw open the restaurants, have the alcohol, go for a banana and everything to that effect. I don't think India has enough wood to burn their bodies at the moment. There are so many of them dying from COVID. I watched a documentary on CNA, which is Central News Asia. It's the English news that I watch here. And I was watching a documentary in India, and they say the country just, you know what, when the curve turned, because the curve went and it came down. And when it came down, everyone went, wow, there we go. It's gone. We actually beat it. No problem. Everything's great. And next thing, it took them out. I've also had some really strange, let me see if I can open up that one again. COVID visualizer. It's just very strange. I think it's, no, not that one, not that one. That one over there, sorry. Let's take a look while we open it a bit again. It's good old South Africa. 898,000 vaccinated, by the way. South Africa, that's pathetic, really. The government is so pathetic. They started in February. I just want to actually throw you a comparison to Cambodia, which is a small country, 4.4 million, starting a month or two after you. They have 4.4 million vaccinated against your 800 and something thousand. You haven't even vaccinated your health workers yet. It's actually disgraceful. And it's because you're all sitting waiting for damn handouts, not wanting to pay for your vaccine, and you're working out your money in your back pocket is more valuable than the people in your country. Shame on you, South Africa. ANC. What's wonderful for me is, especially if I go to one of the news parts here, on 12 hours ago on your News 24, it says COVID-19 harsh curbs coming. crumbs. Let me pull it up front there for you. Yeah, there we go. COVID-19 harsh curbs coming, and that's in for South Africa. The National Coronavirus Command Council met on Tuesday to discuss introducing further restrictions to help curb the impact of the third wave. Firm lockdown restrictions, including tougher enforcement of mask wearing in public, social distancing, further limits on gatherings, and an earlier curfew are set to be announced by President Cyril Ramaphosa this week as part of move to level 2 lockdown. The National Coronavirus Command Council, blah, 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 tough enforcements. My fellow South Africans, run. Do. Liquor industry appeals to Ramaphosa again. They don't want to stop selling beer. Hospitals are coming under pressure. You should be ready by now with your hospitals. Is the Free State ready for their third wave? Weekly cases, cumulative cases. National COVID reporting 1.6 positive million identified. 11 million tests conducted, 1.5 million recoveries, 55,000 deaths, 700,000 vaccinations. That must have been a while ago because now they're saying it's 898. By province, Northern Cape is the lowest, probably also the lowest population. Limpopo, Northwest. Eastern Cape's up there. Western Cape, Natal and Gauteng at the top there. COVID-19 testing, cumulative, the daily tests. Yeah. But anyway, I was just referring to this because all of a sudden there's newer, harsher curbs coming. If we go into the COVID, graphs, South Africa, 27,000. This is per million people, 940 deaths, 192,000 tests, 10,000 vaccinations. This is per million people. We've actually got a 48,000 active, 56,000 deceased, 1.5 million recoveries, and 1.6 million total cases, 11,500 tests. This is South Africa. So now we take a look at this yellow line over here, and this is active. So you're active and everything is running over there. These are your deaths are running over here. Bloody hell, are we worried about if this is your recovery rate? This is your recovery rate. So as we went up in cases, recoveries just went, oh, don't worry, as sick as what you're getting, we're recovering. I believe that's a load of bullshit. Sorry, but I do. I don't not believe in coronavirus. I just believe that a lot that is being thrown out there is crap, because I think it is a deadly disease. It is a deadly virus. You get it, you die. Your percentage chance of surviving is minimal. Not these phenomenal recoveries that are coming out of there. If you have had a serious flu or a serious pneumonia or some other respiratory disease, I would say, yeah, okay, you've got ill and you've got, but I don't think you've got corona. If you've got corona, you're going to hospital, you're going to die. Slight chance of survival, but not the figures that these guys are pumping out. I mean, you take a look at South Africa's, and then we went up a little, and then we went down. The recoveries are just coming in. I mean, take a look at Cambodia. I mean, you're like 7,000 active cases, 579 cases in the last 13 hours, but 873 recoveries, 22,000 recoveries. Oh, please. Crimea River, where do we get that amount of recoveries just like that all of a sudden? Our active cases, once again, there we go. So as we have not had much, I don't think they've done much testing in those areas over there, but as they increased their cases, guess what? So the recoveries increased all the way up there. And then where we get it, we'll just keep on recovering much better. It looks, you know what? Have you ever heard of cooking the books? Al Capone would have been proud of it. I just don't see those figures gelling at all. It's India, 2 million active, 1.3 million, 1,300 in the last 13 hours, and 7,500 recoveries. I don't see how come India is doing so badly if we've got all those recoveries. It just, maybe I'm stupid, guys. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Do correct me if I'm wrong, but I really don't think it's. I don't think those recoveries are correct. I think coronavirus is deadly. It irritates me that the world is busy playing with our lives. I've seen videos of people going, oh, well, it's not the virus that is the actual reset of the world. It is the vaccination. You will die in 2 to 3 years' time, and that is the actual culling of the world. And they've taken that out so that you can actually take the vaccination and the world will actually get a proper reset in 2 to 3 years' time when everybody who's taken the vaccination dies. Really? Okay. Something else that was a little irritating to me happening in the news again as well is the American embassy right here in Cambodia. This is on the Khmer Times. News post, Black Lives Matter flag to mark George Floyd's death. Now, I have never wished anyone to die, and I never will wish anyone to die. And I don't believe that anyone deserves to die in any way, especially the way George Floyd died. But the way they are martyring him sickens me. They are trying to tell you that this righteous, good man just below Jesus Christ has now been killed by a policeman on purpose because he put his knee there, specifically looked for his airway to be able to close it and kill him because he couldn't breathe. This guy's been in jail about, 4 to 6 times. I stand corrected. I know he's done drugs, he's dealt drugs, he's deceived people, he's used counterfeit money, been into counterfeiting. He was a criminal. He was of the worst that you can get. And when he was arrested, he resisted arrest with force. If he had not been resisting arrest in the first place, he would not have been put down on the ground. The officer would not have put his knee on him, supposedly should have been on his chest. I don't know how, ended up on his neck, but the officer would not have done that, and he would not have been not able to breathe, and he would not have died. But instead, George Floyd has continued to ruin lives. Not only those that he ruined while he was alive, but also in death, he has ruined a police officer's life as well. And I think it was absolutely in bad taste and pathetic of the United States Embassy to put that up in Cambodia, because what the hell has it got to do in Cambodia anyway? Just my opinion, guys. Please shoot me if I'm wrong. Something else that's just almost like a daily occurrence. Not a daily, but it happens so often. It's like in South Africa, it's like a farm murder. You know what? Oh, it's just happened. And so it doesn't happen. You know, South Africa, it's terrible because people are being murdered and murdered and murdered consistently on the farms and that. And so I'd like to show you something else that happens in Cambodia quite regularly. And this is what they find. 100 UXOs found in Choam Kisan. Take a look there. Unexploded, it's not unexploded objects, it's something else. There's another word for it. Police, they find them, Cambodian collaboration with Cambodian Mine Action. They were found buried in a villager's farm. And these are in the farm. These are where the villagers farm. And you will see that these are unexploded. It's O isn't for objects, but I call them unexploded objects. But yeah. Farmer in Choen Kazam commune was cleaning his land located in a former military camp in the 1980s when he stumbled upon many unexploded bombs and mines buried in the ground. He said the farmer, who was shocked at his find, immediately alerted the district, who in turn informed the CMAC, who sent their de-arming troops there. But this is like a daily, I wouldn't say daily occurrence, but so regular, it's weekly at least, that they are unexploded. And you know what? It comes from the time, and I'd like to possibly, and if I can get my ass into doing some proper research, I can tell you about a little bit on one of the Peppers Echo shows about when the military planes, the US planes and that were bombing and attacking, fighting the war in Vietnam, which is our neighbor. And then they'd have to fly back, and they had all this excess bombs and ammunition and bombs and everything, and they just emptied it out over Cambodia. You know, we'll just drop it over there because we're not going to use it on the way back. Planes too heavy, net to get there, and they just emptied it out all over Cambodia. I mean, Cambodia was pretty war-torn, and then, of course, it had its own war in the genocide as well, but these are mainly all still from Vietnam War times, which didn't even really supposedly involve Cambodia, although there was. But I will rather get you the details on that. Here's another one that I want to show you. Another one dies injured in a landmine explosion in Batabang. As the explosion, vehicle is destroyed by landmine explosion in Batabang. This is what happens because these bombs and that all over the place. A farmer was killed and another critically injured on Thursday when their vehicle ran over a landmine and exploded in Batabang's provincial Samlot district, according to Cambodian mine expert. The incident happened on Thursday when one or two men drove their vehicle across a field and ran over the anti-tank landmine buried underground in Sung Commune. It was a former battlefield governed and the Khmer Rouge guerrilla, between the government and the Khmer Rouge guerrillas, 1980s and 1990s. He said the anti-tank landmines were laid underground over 30 years or even more than 50 years, and they can be exploded to wound or kill farmers. I must actually show you something sometime, but not today, about rats that they use now to actually demine, find mines and unexploded items. The only problem is a lot of the people aren't educated on that, and what they actually end up doing is the one guy's like, oh, he has this great hammer he was using, and he was using an unexploded bomb or a grenade or something like that as a hammer. It was like, whoa. Yeah, but just going to get back to this. Getting back to COVID, you guys think you have it hard there. They don't take no nonsense here. COVID escapees sent to prison. These guys here, they're cops. This guy here, he's COVID positive and decided to escape. They track you down, put your face in the mud and grab you like a dog, brother. There's no ways they are looking at who's right and who's humane and who's what. No one's put his knee on his neck, but they don't take no chances here as well. So in the same breath, I must say they are pretty strict upon everything. So I'm hoping that they don't become complacent. Phnom Penh Armed Forces sent a man who escaped from quarantine on May 22nd to prison. Bob, there we go. You escape, bam, you go down to prison there. And then I actually found some interesting things. COVID-19 style, gangbang style. Can't make it too much bigger, that's too big. Right, COVID-19 style greetings have become the new norm in Cambodia. So there you can take a look. Hotel guests and receptionists wearing masks to protect from coronavirus, and a new practice of greeting with Thai travel leisure. So let's take a look. Chum Rup So means how do you do in Khmer. It's a very, very formal greeting. Otherwise, you can just say, the next one says, Suzaday, hello, Suzaday. And then Soksubai, how are you? Soksubai actually directly translated is, are you happy? So if you greet someone, you can either go Chumrubso or you can go Susaday, Soksabai is how we usually end up greeting people, and then you have been recognized as a gentleman. If you are using Chumrubso Soksabai, that means hello, or how do you do, how are you? And that's a greeting dating back as long as one can remember. Nevertheless, the Khmer greetings have been added to substitutions in slightly different ways. Okay, so to greet someone formally, it's Chumrubso, and when you greet them and you say goodbye, it's Chumrublia. So just bringing up my little bit of Khmer there. Nevertheless, Khmer greetings have been as a hunger was overwhelming during Khmer Rouge period. Many people asked one another, "Min ai hob te?" Do you have anything to eat? Instead of the usual greeting, hello or how are you? And before the long Khmer Rouge's genocidal regime was overthrown in 1917, a new way of greeting emerged. As relatives and friends bumped into each other, one of the first things they would say was, Nik Novros te? Are you still alive? Of course, it was hard for the Khmer Rouge survivors to respond to how are you question. So recently, people in the cities have experienced a new style of verbal greeting following the outbreak of COVID-19 and the vaccination. And it's true, I think it's broken out in many cities these days. Sakson, a 60-year-old barber who works in the center of Phnom Penh, says many people have not greeted him the way they used to when he goes out and sees them. Instead of saying Sozade, which is hello, they ask, have you had your vaccine? Have you had your vaccine straight away? He says with a laugh. So these days, it's not hello, how are you? It's hello, have you had your vaccine? So luckily, he says he's had his first jab, etc., etc. So yeah. But I wanted to get through some. There was a really interesting part. Yeah, people asking, so have you had your vaccine? Yes. And so basically, it's regardless... there are new ways of greeting each other without taste. So meanwhile, the website Traveler's Leisure shows us there are 5 distance-friendly, no-touch greeting greeting to be used around the world. So there's the bow, a Japanese man and a woman bowing as a mark of respect and greeting instead of hugging or handshaking to adhere to social distancing in times of COVID-19 pandemic. So there you got the bow. And the bow in Japan is believed to have originated with the introduction of Buddhism between the 6th and 8th century. At the time, bowing was a reflection of social status. If you met someone of a higher standing, you were expected to bow, making yourself shorter as a sign of defense. In modern Japan, bowing serves a variety of functions, and today people bow to say thank you or apologize, to mark the beginning or ending of a ceremony or a meeting, and of course in greeting. So a bow can convey different meanings depending on one's posture. The deeper the bow, the more respect is shown. So one of the ways is bowing. Now, sticking out your tongue. How do you like this one for a greeting? Sticking out your tongue. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to you and go, welcome to Pepper's Echo. And it is actually a perfectly acceptable greeting. So sticking out your tongue, and I don't have pictures of people sticking out their tongue here, but in Western culture, sticking out your tongue is considered really impolite. It's pretty rude. Yeah. But in Tibet, the gesture harkens back to the 9th century. A mean black-tongued king named Langdama. As Buddhists, Tibetans believe in reincarnation, and after Dharma's death by assassination, it was feared the cruel king would return. Now remember, it was a black-tongued king who was mean. So for centuries, the Tibetans have stuck out their own tongues in a greeting as a way to prove that they were not Dharma incarnate. The expression is also a way to show agreement and respect. So the next time I stick my tongue out at you, I'm agreeing and respecting you. You get the shaka. The shaka is a universal greeting in the Hawaiian Islands. Let me show you a shaka here, guys. Remember the hang 10? That's the shaka. Hang 10. Shaka. Right, the shaka, let's get back so you can see some as well. The shaka is universal greeting in the Hawaiian Islands. Ooh. Okay, to make a shaka frequently recognized as a symbol, hang loose, extend your thumb and your pinky finger, and you curl your 3 middle fingers towards the palm. That's the hang 10 gesture. There we go. And the gesture often expresses with enthusiastic exclamation of shaka bra, is said to date back to the 1900s when a sugar mill worker got his hand caught in the rollers, crushing his middle, index, and ring finger. And after the incident, he became the plantation's security guard and waved his maimed hand to shoo the local kids away when they tried to jump the trains at the Kahuka station. The kids replied that the gesture to signal that guard was not around and the coast was clear. These days, the shaka is a simple way to greet someone with a bit of a aloha spirit. Yeah, there we go. I think Divan's got it. Aloha. Now you know where it comes from. You don't have one of the black tongue, huh? No. Namaste. I think this is always comes out. I always thought it was very Indian. So like Cambodia and Sampia throughout Southeast Asia, from India to Bangladesh to Nepal, people press their palms together at their heart. Okay, so at first I thought it was maybe like when you have a heart attack, so you're like going, but no, it's pushing their palms together at your heart. Over here. Oh, geez, I can see I did not titillate today, Lynn. I'm sorry. So you push it together at your heart over here, and then they bow their heads slightly in salutation. This gesture is called Anjali Mudra. It is customary accompanied by the word of Namaste, a Sanskrit term that's translated to I bow to you. Although in Western culture, many people are familiar with the gesture as to a way to seal a yoga practice, it's important to remember that Namaste is a spiritual act, one that signifies respect and gratitude while saying the divine in me bows to the divine in you. Should have brought that up. There we go. It is there. And then there's the last one, if I'm not mistaken, yes, is to place your hand on your heart. As if you are having a heart. No, not as if you're having a heart attack. Throughout the nation of Islam, Muslims use the Arabic phrase Assalamu alaikum, which translates to peace be upon you. In greeting, while the accompanying gesture varies from place to place, putting the right hand on the heart demonstrates genuine happiness to meet someone. So, guys, there's 5 ways in which you can meet people and greet people without Namaste. I'm sure you can find emoji. They have a little emoji like this, don't they? The little hands. But there's 5 ways which you can meet people, greet people, show respect. I don't know in Western countries with the sticking out of the tongue so much, but without having to join hands or anything to that effect. Okay, I suppose, what did I do? I ended somewhere along the line last time. I am going to end off today as well. I don't like ending off with after an hour with the photos because nobody sees them, but I am going to show you. There we go, Divan. Namaste, Divan. Thank you. I don't like ending off with pictures or videos at this time because everybody has stopped watching by now already. But I did show you the Anchor beer and the Angkor beer. And I should actually maybe bring it over to the Peppers Echo next week as well, because next week on the Motley Mix, we're going to be doing some different beers of Cambodia, and I might bring some along as we go along the line as well. And there you can see me on a very, very hot day after hunting for a job. And the one little open air restaurant, as I say, it is very, I don't want to say primitive, because you get your absolutely very posh places and that as well, but you just get the open ones. You get like a garage or a tire place that is. We'll do that next week. Because I'm not going to. I'm going to end it off here. You get like a tire place. It's got, you pull in the car and you have tires, everything. Yes, the beers for next week. I did say on Monthly Mix, and then I'll probably bring it in next week as well. I see there's a new beer called Anchor White, and I think it's made from rice. So we might use some chopsticks to drink beer with next week. But yeah, but as I was saying, You can have like a tire place where, you know, where you drive into the tire place and everything, and you drive in there and you get your tire changed or checked or repaired, etc., and then they close up at 5 or 6 o'clock, and then that whole place actually suddenly gets tables and chairs onto the pavement and little snake lights and everything to that effect, and little trolley gets pulled in there, and whammo, that's a restaurant for the evening as well. There you can go and have your drinks, and there's music being played and everything. The restaurant gets backed up next morning, whammo, it's a tire place. Again, it's actually quite quaint. I haven't taken as many photos as what I want. I do have photos that I wanted to show you, but I have not done so. And I do promise to take more photos and try and do a couple of trips. I should have actually taken one when I went to the vet. I'm still trying to get into this thing ever since the show with Ronaldo, and I think was it Lynn or somebody who said, you know what, tell us what's happening in Cambodia. What does it look like? We want to know more about that. And I thought, well, maybe it's better than the news, because the news is just sort of like ticking the living daylights off everybody, and everybody's doing the news that comes up there. I mean, there's new harsher terms for COVID-19. Stage 2 load shedding is on the cards unless public cuts electricity use, warns Eskom. The public doesn't have electricity to cut Eskom, so I mean, how the hell are they going to cut it? But anyway, and then there's the 80 million spent, but no work done on workers in the Chwani district. And now they're going, oh, there's a DA government there, but they'd been employed under the services of another company. And the DA had actually tried to bring them into actually being paid from the municipal area or whatever on the city books, instead of like doing a labor broking thing. And these guys have apparently been put under like a department, and they haven't done work. They've been coming to work every day and not getting work. So, and now they're very upset because their contracts ended in October last year and it has been stopped. And they're like, why do we not have work? Well, you weren't working in the first place. But anyway, that, and then taking a look under analysis, I'd like to cover this more clearly in one of the shows again. And you know that this one is pretty close to my heart, is the scandalizing of Andre de Ruyter and how the race card has become the normal way, the South African way, the norm. And that is Andre de Ruyter and Eskom, and the absolutely Solly Chitangano, the chief procurement officer, who absolutely has trashed Eskom. And then when he got into trouble, threw the race card in the general direction of Andre de Ruyter as such. But anyway, I shall not be tuning too much there. I don't want to go on to more next week. I'll tell you about my first apartment over here, and let's share that one. That is my wife cooking. There's also like little restaurants, and it's pretty much open, and you'll see the chairs are normal, like little fold-out chairs, normal tables, and in the tables it's not very deep, as you can see over there. It's not very deep. Normal tables and chairs, a little trolley that gets pushed next to you if you need anything, and you order different sets of foods and vegetables, and there's a little sort of fire thing going over there, and you do a little bit of cooking on your own food. I don't know, I'm impressed. It was at our very, very first time as we came in there as we got here. So we were busy trying different things. And then, of course, with lockdown, we have had very, very little opportunity to try anything. And I've also sort of locked down and went, I'm Western, I'll eat Western. They will do nothing else anymore. So, yeah, that is one thing there. And yeah, we'll get to our next ones as we go apart. From my side, guys, thank you very, very much. I appreciate you watching. If you've caught it on a rerun, guys, I'd also like to know about the time, please. I know for South Africa, it is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. In Cambodia, it is 7 o'clock in the evening. I can't go much later, but if there's a different day or a different time, that Pepper's Echo would be better, because I would really love a few more comments and be able to enjoy the comments and be able to talk with comments a little bit as well as we go along. I appreciate everyone that watches live. I appreciate everyone that actually rewatches again. And I really appreciate all the comments and feedback I get from everybody. Linda, Sean, Lynn, really, thank you very much as such. I'll try and get some people onto the show as well, but I'm trying to get it to run a little bit more as we go. Oh, sorry, Divan, I forgot you too. Yes, check it tomorrow, bud. Divan as well. Yeah, I'd like to have them on. So please, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. I promise to shave. It's not so titivated today, Lynn. Sorry. And if you have anything at all, suggestions on the time for Pepper's Echo, what you want to see on Pepper's Echo, if you want to send something, a video clip, a topic, if you'd like to come onto the show, it would be absolutely fantastic. Pepper's Echo, PEPRSECHO. Yes, there's no double P, and there's an E after that is not there as well. You're watching the live echo. My name's Andre. Thank you so very much for that. I really appreciate. Have a good evening. Have a good week. Take care. Be good. And remember, if you can't be good, at least be kind.